Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to the last show of RobPatry Live in May of this year. It's not the last show. I know you were hoping it was the last show, but it's not. You're going to be stuck with me for some time now. Okay, so this evening we are going for a swim. We are going in the ocean with our good friends from the, I have to read this all because I've got it all written down, the Huntsman Fundy Discovery Aquarium, Huntsman Marine Science Centre, / copyright 2017. We have Cynthia Callahan, aquarium manager, and Dr. Claire Goodwin. Welcome, ladies.
Thanks.
You're fresh from the aquarium, fresh from the salty waters of the Bay of Fundy. You were out there swimming today.
Yeah, it was. You can see my hair's not quite dry yet.
Yeah, but you know what? You both look lovely. You both look lovely and well groomed. So how was the water today? Was it cold?
It's cold. It's about 6 degrees at the moment, so it's still warming up from the winter.
Now, what do you wear, a wetsuit?
No, I mean, there were some people there in wetsuits today, and one guy even did 2 dives in a wetsuit.
So what are you wearing? You're in a bathing suit?
I'm tough.
Good Lord. You just cover yourself with bacon lard. So
basically.
Okay. So you're out there just in a bathing suit and bacon lard, diving with the pearl fishermen. Is that that's what they do? They dive deep. Okay, no, you're not doing that. So you're in a dry suit.
It's a dry suit.
Okay, I don't even know the difference.
Well, a wet suit lets water in your body, heats up the water, and that's what keeps you warm. But with a dry suit, you're actually aiming to keep dry. So you've got seals at your wrists and at your neck, and then you wear a big sort of fluffy undergarment underneath.
A fluffy undergarment.
It's a bit like a sleeping bag.
Okay. And then do you have a tank, an air tank?
Yeah. Yeah.
You have 1 or 2?
I dive with 2. A lot of people dive with 1.
Okay. And why do you dive with 2?
It just so got a reserve of air, just
so
in case anything goes wrong.
Well, what's going to go wrong?
Well, one of your tanks could fail. You can run out of air.
No, we don't want to think that. Okay, so what were you diving down there for, just out of curiosity?
Well, today I was doing an event called a BioBlitz, which is it's part of our BioBlitz from the Passamaquoddy Bay, which is part of a nationwide campaign of BioBlitzes conducted by the Canadian Wildlife Federation, and it's a signature Canada 150 project. So it's part of these anniversary celebrations we're coming up to this year. And what we're trying to do in these BioBlitzes is record as many species as possible to get a really good snapshot of Canadian wildlife.
So as many different species of fish and lobsters and whatever else is down there.
Whatever else we see. Seaweed today. We had Gary Saunders from University of New Brunswick on the shore with us today looking for seaweed, and he got over 60 species of seaweed.
Now what about sharks? Because there's a lot of talk lately about great white sharks. You seen any of those?
Not here.
No. In other spots you've seen them.
I've been working with them in South Africa before.
Oh, good Lord. That sounds frightening. I saw that movie Jaws. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's very scary. Not to be trusted, those sharks. People are trying to say they should be, but I don't trust them at all. But I guess I would be, no, I wouldn't be. I wanted to say it. Now, Cynthia.
Yes.
You're from the aquarium portion.
Yes.
And you and I met early March, which was not spring break but March break. Because spring break is a thing down in Florida where the kids go crazy and they play the loud music and they're dancing on the streets, and we're not talking about that. We're talking about the kids have a break in March and they come and they visit the aquarium.
Yes. So since then we've now opened for our regular season. Some new things, we have new animals, including some little juvenile Atlantic sturgeon, which are pretty fantastic. One thing I'm really excited about is a brand new climate change presentation that we've added. So every day at 2 o'clock, we've just added it to our regular rotation of presentations, and it's looking at the aspect of climate change, which is rising sea levels and storm surge. And we've got this really cool model of downtown St. Andrews with all of the houses that you and I know downtown. And it shows how rising sea level is affecting those that are particularly right on the coast, because this is a huge problem all over the world. So that's a really neat thing that we've added for the summer.
And speaking of climate change, it's warmer now in May than it was when I was there in March. Because that's climate change, is it
well,
not?
it's also 2 months later.
It's 2 months, oh yeah, it didn't occur to me.
Yeah.
But, because I was out there, we were talking to the seals.
Yes.
Fluffy and Stimpy? No.
Snorkel and Loki.
Snorkel and Loki, and I wasn't ready. I don't think I was going to feed them because it was dangerous at that time because there might have been ice on the what do you call it?
We didn't want you to fall into.
No, no. But you know what's funny? I could have sworn I heard somebody say, "Yeah, push them in," but I could have been just my paranoia. But we were out there talking to the people, talking to kids, and everybody seemed to be having a great time.
Yeah.
And it was really busy.
Yeah.
I was, you know, first of all, I'd never even been in there. I didn't even know it was there. I had seen a sign on the highway that there's an aquarium there, but I didn't know that it was there. So this is my first time in. And there's kids everywhere having a great time.
And the whole summer is like that as well. So last year we had well over 30,000 people come through, and those are just the guests. So that's not counting all of the people that come to the Huntsman for all of our education program. You could easily add a few thousand on.
So those are big numbers. So Patrick, are we ready to see that clip yet? So what are you doing here? You're not in school? This is your March break?
Yeah.
And you decide to come to the aquarium and hang out. Have you been here before?
Yes, we have many times.
Many times, and you like it here?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm standing here with Katie Ann from the Huntsman Aquarium in St. Andrews. What do you got in your hand there, Katie Ann?
We call them sea stars now because they're not technically a fish, but starfish is just as good as sea star. So these are called arms,
it's not
but yes. They will regrow them. Their feet are actually under here, all of these little tube feet.
Okay.
But they will regrow their arm, and you'll see in here plenty of sea stars with one arm shorter than the other.
Is he a boy or a girl, or do we know?
You can't tell from outside.
How do you tell them?
It would be their organs would be inside their body.
Let's not do that.
No.
Okay, grab me something else here from the water.
Sure.
I know what that is. You know, one of these spit on my wife last year. We were at in St. Andrews, and there was a little box from you guys.
Yeah.
And there was his scallop, and he spit right on my wife.
Yes, they do that sometimes. It's their defense mechanism. So underneath the water, they'll open and close, and that jet propulsion of water propels them through the water.
That's how he moves.
Yeah.
Grab me something else here. This is fascinating.
Sure.
This is awesome. Oh, I don't like the looks. I know what he is, a porcupine. Is it mollusk? Is that what he is?
No, these and the sea stars, they are echinoderms.
Echinoderms.
Yes.
Yeah, I used to live in a echinoderm, but it was a long time ago. Okay, so now does he shoot these out at people?
No, they stay attached to their body.
Right.
But if you were to grab on real tight, the spines might break off in your skin.
Okay.
Sometimes we throw some mussels in here, and the animals will eat them. So crabs love mussels. The sea stars will eat the mussels.
Oh, is there a crab in here?
There's lots of crabs.
All right, let's go pull one. We got one here.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, let's pull one up. We're gonna get a crab. Yeah, I love that with melted butter. It's not a buffet. Oh, good Lord, what's that other thing?
This is another Ed's cousin.
Oh, I don't like the look of that. What is it?
So this one's a cucumber.
Oh, you know, I've eaten that. It was disgusting. It was absolutely, it looks even worse than it tasted.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So
he's a homely looking fella.
Yeah.
He's peeing on you?
Well, he's not peeing. He's releasing his water.
Releasing his water.
Yeah.
Now, where your pinky is that part of him, or is that a rock?
That's a rock. So they have little 2 feet suction cups like the sea stars and the sea urchins.
Right. Yeah. I love crab.
Yeah. So this guy.
Oh, there's his eyes.
These are a lot more docile than the green crabs.
And what kind is he?
A rock crab.
Rock crab.
Yeah.
Now, if I put my finger in there, is he going to pinch?
He might. Yeah, it kind of hurts.
It does?
A little
well,
bit.
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
But he looks very friendly.
They're a lot more friendly than the green crabs, that's for sure.
And what do you think about all these fish?
Some of them are gross and some of them are awesome.
Okay, what do you think's gross? Because I want to see if we think the same fish is gross.
The sea cucumber.
Yeah, I didn't like him. Did you hear me go on and on about that? He is creepy, though, isn't he? Did you see the seals?
Yeah, and I saw the salmon downstairs.
Saw the salmon. You like to eat salmon?
No.
Not really.
No.
So the young lady doesn't like to eat salmon. Well, that's good. That's probably good for the salmon that lives there. So I noticed I'm a lot fatter in that clip. I don't know if that means anything or not, but I feel much better now, and I think I look a lot better.
You look good.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so Dr. Goodwin, you're a sponge. Your specialty is sponges?
Yeah, that's one of the animals I specialise in.
Now, did you, when you went to school, did you go to school and you have a fascination with sponges, or did somebody say you're going to be a sponge expert now?
Yeah, I mean, one of these things, it's like quite a lot of careers that happen by chance, really. I came out of my PhD, and I'd actually done my PhD on lamprey, which are a sort of primitive fish.
Is that an eel?
It's an eel, but it's got a sucker on the front and it feeds on blood.
Okay.
It's,
well, that's pleasant, isn't it?
Yeah. But a job came up in the museum near the university, and that was to work on a year-long project on sponges, doing a lot of dive survey work on a small island called Rathlin in Northern Ireland. And I got that job, and ever since then I've worked on sponges.
Okay, so now, what is a sponge anyway? Like I use them at home, like they clean up and they're blue and square or whatever, but they're not like that, are they?
Well, actually, some sponges you can dry to use as bath sponges, and they're the big sort of ones
Right.
you get as bath sponges.
Right.
But a lot of sponges, they're animals.
Yes.
And they're not a colony, they're actually just one animal that works together. They're very simple. So
Right.
they're feeding on tiny particles in seawater, and they actually filter that through themselves by creating a water current. They've got little tiny things inside them called choanocytes, which look a bit like tadpoles.
Okay.
And they flap their tails about and create a water current through
Right.
the sponge. And they're feeding on little particles. And a lot of sponges actually have a glass skeleton. So if you use those ones in the bath, that would cut you.
Right.
It wouldn't be great to use. So it's only the ones without those glass skeletal structures we can use as bath sponges.
And do they have a brain?
They've got some basic sort of, no, not really.
Well, okay, the only reason I asked is I was wondering what they think about. And I guess we don't know because we're not sponges, of course.
I'd imagine not very much.
But I wonder, if I was a sponge, I'd wonder if I got that name because I am a sponge, or did the name come first? Because you think of a sponge as, but is that why he got that name, or he was just that and then it went the other way?
Philosophical
question. I know. I'm asking. See, you told me not to ask you any of these complicated questions.
That's a hard one.
So I apologize. Okay, so what else is new at the aquarium? Because you've written down some questions for me here, and tell me what's going on down there.
Well, one thing we added last summer, which proved to be really, really successful and popular, is our behind-the-scenes tours. Have I told you about those, or do you know about those?
No.
No. Okay, so they're an added experience for someone coming to the aquarium. It's an extra hour of their time, and we take them in really small groups behind all the locked doors of the aquarium. So basically, you're going into our work areas where we are preparing food. There's a lot of animals that live back there.
Okay, let me stop you right there. Preparing food for yourself?
Usually just for the animals.
Or for the animals.
So we have a
okay.
lunchroom for that.
I just had to clarify that.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking, what are you folks doing back there that you're preparing food?
We have a lot of mouths to feed.
Okay.
Thousands of animals at the aquarium.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So no, our food preparation areas, our water support system, what we call our life support system areas. We have 2 big rooms where we filter our water, recirculate our water. Like I said, we have a lot of animals that just live behind the scenes, and we give the people taking this tour an opportunity to feed them as well. So it's a really tactile experience that people get, for people who are really interested in how you run an aquarium and what's involved in keeping the animals alive. It's a great experience.
Well, that was one thing I noticed about it, having been in other aquariums. It's a much more hands-on experience where it's not just looking at things I shouldn't say things, little fishies and creatures in a tank, but being able to touch them, the children or the parents are allowed to pick them up, and you're allowed to look at them, and it's a full sort of multi. What do you get? I was going to say multicultural. That's not. It's not
multifaceted.
Yeah, sure, that works.
Right.
Multifaceted experience. Thank you for that, by the way. Okay, I'm going to stop both of you because we're about to take a break.
Sure.
Well, I don't have to stop both of you. I just have to stop you. I don't have to stop anybody. We're going to take a break. We're going to go over to the table because we have two people here at this end, and then we've got a third person over there, and they're all going to bring out a show and tell of magnificent sea creatures. And also, this is a call-in show, so if anybody has any questions for any of my lovely guests, the number here is 855-529-8826. So we'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back with RobPatry Live. All right, so we're back with RobPatry Live. If anybody would like a drink, I can be more than happy to serve them. We're here with everybody from the Huntsman Aquarium. It sounds like we've got a phone call coming in. Do we have a phone call, Patrick? We do. We got a call. Somebody's fascinated by this incredible show. Well, anyway, we're here at this is normally the, what camera am I looking at, guys? This one. This is my camera, camera 2. This is normally the CHCO kitchen. And today we've converted it to a deep sea scientific laboratory. Do I say laboratory or laboratory? What do they say in New Brunswick? It really doesn't matter. I'm going to say laboratory because it makes me sound more intelligent. I'm just going to move this plug thing in my ear. Anyway, we've got we got a whale here, and we've got sea tanks, deep sea diver tanks, skin diver tanks, scuba gear. We got everything. And now we're going to talk about some things, different things. We're going to start with sea creatures. So we're going to have Cynthia come on first because she's got some living sea creatures to amaze, fantasize. It's just a wonderful, wonderful experience. So what have we got first?
So I picked these up from the aquarium.
You picked those up at the aquarium.
Today,
all right. So these are alive.
Very much.
Very much alive. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So bring them out and let's see what we've got here. There's nothing scary, is there?
Oh, no.
Okay. Nothing that can bite old Uncle Rob because I don't like to be bitten.
First I'm going to bring out actually one of my favorite animals.
Oh, what's this?
I'm going to have a little bit of salt water on here.
Okay. Well, put him over. I always ask, does he have a name?
This particular one doesn't.
No, they never have names.
Could
we call him Rob?
Rob. This is Rob the hermit crab.
Rob the hermit crab. Okay, there he is.
Yeah. So
now, why is he coming out at this moment?
He's probably trying to figure out where he is and how he can get back in water and flip himself over. So I don't want to leave him out of water for very long.
No, good Lord, no. So what he's basically saying is, actually, can we turn him around that way a little bit so you can see? Oh, I guess it's on this camera here. No, right here.
Okay.
And then we can see him.
So this is it's a crustacean, just like you would imagine, being a crab. But I really love them. They intrigue me because they have a soft body.
Okay.
So they spend their lives in someone else's home. So basically, they keep growing. They outgrow the shell that they're in, and then it's up to them to kind of go on a journey and try to find a bigger home.
Now this shell is not his.
No, this is a whelk shell. So he outgrew his old shell and made a decision it's time to upgrade. And he went searching for a new home and found one.
Okay, now you said he made a decision.
Yes.
Was it a conscious decision?
I would say so.
He would say, okay, so
Yeah.
he just says, I need a bigger house.
Yeah.
I'm going to go find one, and
Yeah,
here I am.
absolutely.
Okay, so now does he leave there?
Yeah, so I've actually seen them changing homes before, and it's pretty special to catch that
Changing
moment.
homes.
Yeah, they try on a new one.
Oh, look, he popped back.
I
He's
just
probably, you know
scared
what,
him.
put him in
Yeah.
the, oh, you scared him. It wasn't
I
me.
did.
No, I
it
scare a
wasn't
lot
you.
of the
I'm gonna
guests.
put him back. But yeah, they try on a new home and see if it fits, and sometimes they reject it and keep looking.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
So sometimes they're not happy in the home that they move into.
That's right.
Just like people.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever satisfied. Anyway, so that was Rob the Hermit Crab. Okay, so we've got other animals to fascinate and intrigue. Oh, what's
this
now?
guy.
What the heck is this thing?
So this, I'm just going to leave him out for a minute. This one does have a name.
Okay.
His name is Mr. Blue.
Mr. Blue.
As you can see, he's a blue lobster.
Okay, so let's get our camera on this because this is very rare.
It is rare. Yeah.
So I'm just going to put my hand there so people know this isn't a fake lobster. But he's a beautiful shade of blue.
He is,
Oh, look,
yeah.
he's not happy. You know, that's a delicious part right there, the tail.
Poor Mr. Blue.
I know. I shouldn't say that in front of him.
Yeah.
So why is he blue?
So it's a genetic mutation, and the proteins living in the shell cause the colors to appear as they normally do. There's a few different ones. So with this mutation, he just has more of the blue protein.
Right.
And this is a male, and he was actually given to us, I think, the day before you came to the aquarium. A fisherwoman named Angie Lord caught him in Lord's Cove, a lobster fisherwoman.
Okay.
And she called me up and said, "Would you like a blue one?" And I said, "Absolutely." So we've been giving him a good home. I just want to put him back.
Yeah, no, he is absolutely stunning.
Isn't he
I've never
lovely?
seen. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got plenty of colored lobsters.
Now, do the other lobsters know he's blue?
I don't think so.
No, I just wondered, like if, for example, they see him and they say, geez, he's a good-looking lobster there, but he's blue.
Right.
And, maybe he'll be rejected or maybe he will be embraced by the lobster community. Yeah, I'm asking you questions you have
I'd like to think they live in harmony together.
in harmony.
Yeah.
Lovely, okay.
So what I
Now,
have
what's
here-
this thing?
Do you know what this is?
Well, I do, because I think in the movie, it wasn't a movie, in the clip we just saw, I saw one of these.
Yep.
And I asked Katie Ann if he was a porcupine.
Oh.
And she said, no, he's not a porcupine. And then I said, is he a mollusk? And she said, no.
No.
He's,
Okay.
what is he
so
again?
it's a sea urchin.
Sea urchin.
Which is a type of echinoderm, and echino comes from the Greek.
He's kind of a derm. He's not really a derm. He's just
Echino.
okay.
Echino, Greek from hedgehog, I think. or
Okay.
porcupine.
He's like a hedgehog. Oh, so he
Yeah.
is. Okay, so I
Hedgehog.
was
yeah.
not.
And then dermis, skin.
Okay.
So echinoderms, it's a huge phylum of animals, huge. And it is these guys and sand dollars, which are basically a collapsed version of a sea urchin. All sea stars are in this phylum as well. Sea cucumbers, which you saw in
Yes.
the clip with Katie Ann. So we have a lot of echinoderms at the aquarium in our touch tank.
So all of these animals are related, even though they look completely different.
Right.
So what is it that they share in common?
Oh, great question. So echinoderms
Thank you.
they have 5-way radial symmetry, and you probably won't be able to see it, but if you were to kind of do a cross section, they have a 5. So we have bilateral symmetry. We are kind of a mirror image of
I
ourselves.
didn't know that.
Yeah. We have 2 eyes. 2
Oh, I
lungs.
see. Okay.
These have 5-way symmetry, which is really obvious in sea stars. Most of those have 5 arms.
Okay.
The other thing they have in common is tube feet. So those are the little tiny suction cups that they use for locomotion.
As Katie Ann had explained to me on the bottom of the
Yeah.
what do you call it? I keep saying starfish, not starfish.
You can call it that. It's
But it's
okay.
called something else.
Sea star.
Sea star.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
The other really awesome thing that echinoderms have in common is the ability to regenerate lost body parts. And sea urchins in particular are constantly growing back new spines. They break off from predators or just, moving around. So they can grow back almost anything on their body.
Okay, so his body parts, then the only body part I see, because he just looks like a ball with pins in them, are those little
Yep.
pins.
It's his
And what
spines.
are they're his spines.
Yes.
So he's got an exoskeletal.
Yes.
What do you say? What is the word?
He does.
Extraterrestrial?
Kind of exoskeleton.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's that.
Yeah.
And people eat these. They eat the insides.
They do actually, and they eat the roe.
Yes.
The gonads, and it's one of the only animals.
Oh, that sounds horrible. That's what it is. It's
common.
life. You see, I'm like a child inside.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't laugh at things like she said gonads, but you did. But we'll edit that all out.
Yeah.
So he's okay. Go ahead.
I was just going to say.
You see, I'm taken aback. I have nothing to say to that. I'm in shock.
So usually, if we eat the roe of any particular animal, it's usually the female, but it's both males and females that.
Okay, see, now I'm complete. Okay, so he lays eggs, or they both do.
No, it's in order to remove the roe, you need to kill the animal. So we don't eat the roe of our urchins.
I see. Yeah, okay.
But people do.
Okay.
In some cultures.
You see, I'm not going to.
I've never tried it.
Right. Okay. Now he must want to go back.
Yeah,
does he?
I'm going to put him back now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now, do these animals, are they all? Do they live together? Are they happy? Are they predators of each other?
No, we feed everyone enough so that we don't really have too many predation issues in the touch tank. One exception to that is these guys. So this is a northern star.
A sea star.
Yep, that's right.
Okay.
And they will go after the scallops that we have in the touch tank. So
really?
It's a fascinating thing to watch happen. So they actually wrap around the scallop with their body, and their tube feet are so strong that they will open the shell. They'll exhaust the animal inside the shell, and then they stick their stomach outside of their body, and they start digesting the animal inside the shell. So it's
okay. So we have a question here.
Okay.
We have a call coming in. Is a caller there? Sound like Larry King. Is the caller there?
Rod,
we have a question. Hello.
Hi, Rod. Can you hear me?
Just barely.
I'm calling about the Portuguese man of war.
Oh, I can hear you now. Oh, this is, I know you.
Yes, you do.
And because we were talking about, it's Annabelle.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Hi, Annabelle. How are you? Okay,
Hi,
so
Ron.
we were talking about the Portuguese man of war, and our question was, are they coming up here to the Bay of Fundy, or do they come this far north?
Yes. And I had a couple more questions, if I could.
Okay, so we'll start. Yes, of course you can. But we'll start with the Portuguese man of war.
No, they don't.
They don't come here. So everything that I said was a lie.
Not that I know of. But with climate change, we're seeing quite a few animals appear in strange places.
Right.
It's difficult to know why. But
see, here's what I read. And I read this on Wikipedia, so it must be true.
Right.
It just said that they have no way to propel themselves, and they just float.
Yeah, so their jellies are classified as plankton, which means they're kind of free floating. But jellies have some limited motility. They can kind of propel themselves around a bit.
Right.
But they're truly at the ocean's currents.
Okay.
Mercy.
So they usually aren't found up here.
Typically not.
So if I'm walking on the beach and the odds of me stepping on one are like
I'd worry.
Like finding a blue lobster.
I would worry more about stepping on glass.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. So you heard that. So I was wrong again, Annabelle. But you got a couple more questions.
Well, what they are, I wondered also, we hear stories about great white sharks off of Grand Manan and the likelihood of them coming up to St. Andrews or up the St. Croix River. Is that a possibility?
Yes, we have white sharks in the Bay of Fundy every summer. They're marvelous creatures. I could go on and on about sharks. I really shouldn't start talking about sharks. I'm pretty passionate about their conservation, but we kill so many sharks, and very, very rarely are people actually attacked by sharks. So
right.
To me, hearing that a white shark's in the Bay of Fundy is just it's a beautiful thing. It's a lucky thing to know that they're here.
But you wouldn't advise me tying a bucket of chum to my foot and diving in and swimming around.
Probably not.
No, but that would be my own stupidity. I know, I do what I do.
Your chances of encountering one are extremely slim.
Okay, so you have one more question, Annabelle?
Yes, and I don't know if this really would apply for Cynthia, but is there any reason why the St. Croix River couldn't be a great salmon river like the Miramichi?
Ooh, yeah, I couldn't answer that. There are so many factors involved in that. I can't really speak with authority on that.
Okay. Well, that's fair enough. Well, thank you very much for calling in, Belle, and have a great evening. Thanks for calling.
Thank you.
Take care now. Bye-bye. So what was her question about the river?
I think she was asking if there's any reason that the St. Croix couldn't be as good of a salmon river as the Miramichi.
Oh, salmon.
Yeah, I think that's what she said.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay. So we've gone over all the animals, and I think we're going to throw you off now and bring somebody else on. Okay. So next we're going to have Dr. Claire Goodwin.
I've made a mess of the table.
Well, that's okay. We'll, you know what? We'll get Randy. Can we get some paper towels here? Is that a possibility? We've got one of the animals urinated all over. No, that's not what happened. It's just water. Thank you very much, Cynthia. Okay, so Dr. Goodwin, you've got some. See, now I'm already. Geez, I don't even know what that is. I'm going to stand far over here. What is that?
Right, okay, so this is from the collections of the Atlantic Reference Centre.
Okay.
Which is the part of the Huntsman. Cynthia's talked about the aquarium, which is live things.
Right.
And the Atlantic Reference Centre is our research museum, so dead things.
Gee, you know what, I can't even take my eyes off of that thing because I'm just waiting for it to jump up here and just bite me in the jugular.
Fish, can you see? Yeah. So this is a deep sea humpback anglerfish. And I think you can just about see on the tip here, this is its lure. And obviously down in the deep sea it's dark. So that actually contains bacteria that produce light.
Okay.
And there's a flap of skin that the anglerfish can raise or lower over the light producing bacteria. So it jiggles that about, waves it about, and it attracts its prey to it with this light producing lure.
Okay, so he's like way deep down in the ocean.
Yeah, really deep down in the ocean.
You know, he kind of, you know, our cameraman Randy makes beef jerky, and he kind of looks like that. Now, I don't know if, you know, well, I probably wouldn't even attempt taking a taste, but that's what he looks like to me.
Well, we're saying he. This
he
is
could
be
a she. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's definitely a female.
See, here I am with my misogynistic ways, jumping the gun and assuming he's a boy, but he's a girl.
The thing is, anglerfish, one of the interesting things about them is the females grow much bigger than the males.
Okay.
So this female is about 15 centimetres long.
Right.
The males are only 3 centimetres.
So is that how you can tell the difference? Because she's just bigger.
Yeah, so the males, their only role, they don't feed. Their only role is to go and seek out a female and mate, and they do that by pheromones, sort of hormones that the female produces.
Yeah, honestly, I don't even need to know any of this. The whole thing is creeping me out. I keep looking, and I swear she's looking at me. Although now that I know she's a girl, she doesn't seem quite as creepy. So, you know, that's a good thing. Now, is that where she lives?
Yeah, so this is all our collections in the Ark are preserved.
Okay.
So this is actually.
Now, where would I find her? In the Bay of Fundy?
No, this this species occurs in most of the world's oceans.
Okay.
But there's specimens from the Atlantic.
And how far down do I need to go?
Quite deep. I mean, this one was about 800 metres. They do go down to 4,500 metres.
Wow.
So really quite deep. But this species is more around 1,000 metre mark, that sort of area.
Okay. So she uses, again, her little angler
lure
to attract animals, and it lights up from bacteria.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
So why don't we harness this bacteria and make light bulbs out of it?
Well, funny you say that, because scientists are investigating things like that.
Really?
And that's one of when we're exploring in the deep sea, we find all these amazing creatures. But the other reason to explore is because some of them are using things that scientists haven't even thought of yet, and we could potentially use.
Sometimes, Doctor, when I say these types of things at work, maybe I shouldn't be saying it out loud because I might have a great idea here.
You could patent that.
Yeah, but on the other hand, I can't go diving 4,000 meters to catch one of.
I don't think many people can.
No. So okay, so how long have you? How old would she be? Like, is she like? No, I didn't mean how old is she.
Right.
I mean, how long have you had her?
Oh, well, if we look at the tags at the bottom here, I can see this was collected. Sorry, it's tipped over in there.
Now, did somebody go and get her?
1996. Well, we get specimens. The ARC is a partnership between the Huntsman and the Department of Fisheries and Oceans. So it's a joint collection.
Okay.
So some of these specimens have come from Department of Fisheries and Oceans research cruises. Some of them are for our own research. And it's really a combination of
Okay,
things.
so for most of the day, she's sitting on the shelf, top shelf somewhere. Nobody's paying any attention to her unless somebody needs to know something about it. Like she's like a reference book.
Yeah, we keep them as a reference. So a bit like a library. We get researchers that come and visit us to look at our collections. So we had someone in last week who's studying deep sea fish.
Okay.
And she wanted to make sure she was identifying her deep sea fish correctly. Yeah. So she compared her specimens to our specimens in the collections.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Okay, where do you get these white pans? I love this.
It's good, isn't it? It looks very medical.
It does, like I'm looking for a kidney or something. That's it. Well, anyway, so do you have anything else for us, Doctor? You do? Okay, awesome.
I'm going to take some of these.
Those are quite the tweezers there.
They are, yeah. I mean, we need them. The jars
now, what is this?
Deep.
Now, should I move back? This is. You ever seen those things you open up and a snake pops out? That's not one of those.
No.
Okay.
Hopefully not. So you've got the seal on the top there. That stops the.
Oh, I don't like the look of this at all.
Evaporating off. This.
Oh, I don't like this.
Now, what do you think this is?
I have no idea.
It's furry?
Let's see.
Take a guess.
I think our cat threw up something like that once. It smells awful, but I guess, is that fur? That's not fur.
Well, it's hairs.
It's hairs.
If you look underneath, that might give you more of an idea. It's actually a worm.
Oh, well, that's nice. Mm-hmm. Oh,
but its common name is a sea mouse.
Oh, lovely. So it's Mickey, or is it Minnie? You would know. Is that a girl or a boy?
Well, the Latin name is Aphrodite.
Aphrodite.
So obviously, someone thought it looked beautiful.
So this is a worm.
It is a
hairy worm that looks like a mouse.
Yeah.
Oh, that's.
And you might find these if you're walking along the shore. Sometimes they get washed up after storms.
Like here?
Yeah.
Like I could walk on the beach here.
You might do.
And this might wash up.
Yeah.
Okay, note to self. Don't go on the beach anymore. that's oh. I don't know, how big does that? Is that one of those things I'll say, how big is it growing? You're going to say like 30 meters?
No, they don't get that big.
No, how big do they get?
That's probably about the maximum size. They don't get much bigger than that.
It kind of reminds me of a sow bug. You know, like a roly-poly thing.
Yeah, it's got a similar
Doesn't
sort of,
do that, does it?
No, but it can move along the bottom. It can
oh, jeez. Is that it? Can I go now? There's more.
Do you want one last one?
Sure. Is this your...
I'm not going to take these out of the jar because there's lots of them.
What is... I don't know.
Well, these are krill.
Krill.
So these are what all the whales that come into the Bay of Fundy and the whale are eating. So they're in the plankton. So
oh, they're like a little, like a shrimp
they're
almost.
Little shrimp, yeah.
Oh, that's okay. I can take that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're a really good food source. And actually, sometimes we get these jars and there's a layer of oils floating in the top.
Like olive oil?
It's the oil from the krill. It's fish oil. But that means they're a really nutrient-dense food source for the whales. It's sort of like a whale French fry.
A whale French fry. Well, okay, so now are these the whales that that eat plankton?
Well, they eat plankton, the baleen whales, so things like the right whales. That sieve the plankton out of the water.
So they eat these guys as well?
Yeah, so these are one of the things in the plankton they're eating. These are plankton.
Oh, they are plankton?
Well, they're big plankton, but they are plankton.
So are shrimp plankton?
Shrimp, it depends on... They're a bit bigger, so I'm not sure quite when the definition of plankton
Very
stops.
Complicated. Now, how does the paper stay in there and the ink doesn't come off?
It's special paper, so we get special...
Is it special ink? It must
It's Indian ink, so it's actually quite an old thing to use.
Okay.
But it's been proven that it lasts a museum collection, so we do have to be careful about what we're using, because obviously if you write on your normal paper...
So if I just folded this and put this in there...
It'd just degrade.
Okay.
And you'd be looking to try and work out what your specimen was and not be able to tell.
Yeah, so not a good idea. So this is krill, isn't that? That's very interesting. So is there a lot of, will I go for a swim in the ocean and bump into these guys here?
They tend to be further offshore than you're going to be swimming. They like the areas where you've got a lot of current upwellings.
Right.
So, and that's where you'll find the whales as well. So that's where you'll find the whales, say, out between the islands where there's a current going through and current coming up off the bottom. And the krill are feeding on the smaller things in the plankton, and the whales are feeding on them.
Now, don't you find it odd that a thing as big as a whale is eating little tiny things like this?
I do. I find it amazing.
If I was a whale, I'd be going after big things. Like, I don't have time to be wasting with these little tiny things.
Yeah, it obviously works for them, though.
I guess apparently it does. Okay, so that's everything you've got for us, or do you have one more?
I've got one more. Have you got time?
Sure, we've got time. As long as it's not going to scare me.
It might do.
Oh, geez.
It's a small one. It's another fish. So we'll see if we can get it out of the jar.
I have no idea what this is.
Okay, so this is
it looks like a fish.
Hatchet fish. I don't know.
A hatchet fish?
But it's called a hatchet fish because it's sort of shaped like a hatchet. It's very thin.
Okay.
Okay, and this one also has light-producing organs in its stomach.
So his stomach lights up.
So
and what is the purpose of that?
Well, if you're imagining you're down below it in the water, if you look up, you'll be able to see the light.
Right.
And anything silhouetted against the light, you'll be able to see as a dark shape.
Okay.
And that means the predators can find it.
Oh.
If they can't see it, they can't find it. So what it does is counterlights its stomach with these organs which light up. And that means that predators can't see it from below.
He almost looks like a sardine. I mean, in a weird sort of way.
Yeah, it's sort of thin, I suppose. Yeah.
Okay, so again, these are in the Bay of Fundy, or are they from?
They're from the Atlantic.
They're from
this
the Atlantic.
was collected in 2007.
Okay.
And it's out sort of in the deeper Atlantic.
Okay. Again, the ones with the lights, they're really way deep.
Yeah, they're deeper fish, yeah.
Do you know what an escalar is?
An escalar?
An escalar fish? No.
I haven't heard of that.
Okay, that's okay.
I have to look it up now.
You looked that up? I had it in Florida once. It was a fish you eat.
Oh, right.
And it's been banned by Health Canada because it gives you stomach problems. I won't even get into it.
Doesn't sound good. Sorry, I've made a mess of your table again.
No, that's okay. That's okay. As long as there's no disease in here, like I'm going to turn into a mutant fish or anything.
Sorry,
nothing like that. Because, I'm going to be very honest with you, Doctor, and don't take this the wrong way, but I have horrible nightmares tonight. Cynthia thinks it's funny that I find all this stuff distressing, but it bothers me ever so much. But that's why I don't know, that tour that you talked about, or that Cynthia, where you go behind the scenes, shouldn't have the guests here cleaning up. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Going behind the scenes, would I want to see all these jars in the room?
Cynthia's tour doesn't actually include the
That's
art,
yours.
But we can we do tours. We're not open to the public like a normal sort of exhibition centre type museum, but we can do tours for groups, like educational groups, like school groups and things.
What about me? Like if I want to come in like at 2-3 in the morning? Do you do things like that? No?
Maybe not in the middle of the night.
Probably not.
It definitely scares you.
Do those things light up?
Oh, these now?
Does he light up there?
No, not now.
Oh God, that would freak me out. Oh man, that would be too much for me. I'm an old man. I can't take this kind of stuff. All right. Well, thank you so much, Doctor.
Okay.
Now we've got one more. So we got debris now. Come on up, Krista. Is it going to be break time soon? How much time have we got? We're okay. Okay, Krista. Now I'm going to read your title here because you're the debris coordinator.
I am.
So you coordinate all the debris in the ocean.
Well, not quite.
But you're not the cause of it.
No, I'm not the cause of it. I try not to be the cause of it.
You're the fixer-upper person.
I'm trying to be.
All right.
Yeah,
and you've brought debris.
I have brought debris.
Show me your debris.
Okay.
That should be the name of a TV show.
Here's a bucket.
Show me your debris. A bucket a degree. Now, see, I see it looks like a shoe sole.
There's plenty of shoe soles in the ocean. I'm not quite sure why or where they come from.
It almost looks like a cookie in a weird way. That's just me.
In an odd way, yeah, sure.
Now, are these things you personally found?
These are. This bucket here is a bucket I filled just outside of St. John last weekend. And as you can see, it's got everything from plastics. So both of these are oil containers.
Now, are these people chucking stuff in the ocean?
Well, some people are. I've got like candy wrappers and stuff.
But why would an oil container be in the middle of the water?
Well, I think some of this stuff just gets discarded off of boats.
So they just think, we don't need it, let's toss it.
Yeah, that, or they blow off of boats, they blow off of wharves. It can be careless.
But it's a huge problem.
It's a huge problem. Well, you can see exactly what's wrong here. Is like this plastic here is still kind of intact. It's broken up a little, but this one here, you can just kind of flake pieces off. It's so brittle. And that happens as well with other items, such as rope. I'm going to bring this bucket over here. Sorry, scratch problem.
It's okay.
This is something we find a lot in the ocean. Geez. This comes in from fishing, of course. Oh, you can see the plastic flakes falling as I put it down. So this ends up in the ocean, and that floats along, gets washed up with seaweed and with the waves.
But this also, somebody could eat this.
Yeah, you can get entangled in that. That could be ingested by something larger, or this can just end up in the ocean until it looks like this guy. Or even worse.
And the likelihood of somebody, when I say somebody, I mean a fish, or something eating that and then having real problems.
Oh, real problems. Because all of this is plastic. So the biggest problem right here is the fact that this is all plastic. Plastic never goes away. Plastic is pretty much forever. So this here is just going to get broken down farther and farther until it's what we call a microplastic.
And the only way that this will fix itself is if it floats up to the shore and somebody like yourself picks it up. Other than that, it's just out there.
Other than that, it's out there. A lot of people have mentioned that shoreline cleanups are not a really big deal. We're only just scratching the surface. But once it comes up on shore, it's going to break down faster into the microplastic stage, because the only way plastic really breaks down is through photodegradation. So where you have biological degradation, this is photodegradation. So as soon as the sun hits this stuff, it starts to become, well, basically you see this just fraying open. And
so that was once this.
That was once this, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's exactly what that becomes, and I've got plenty of it. There's excellent examples. So this one bucket was actually maybe gathered in about 20 minutes just outside the Irvine Nature Park in St. John last weekend. So a little bit of everything there. But one thing I wanted to point out, and well, we've seen these before. Coffee cups are one of the things that we find a lot of. And I managed to find a few examples here of what happens, because some people don't really believe that the paper cups are going to do much damage because they're paper. So this is a paper coffee cup after it's been hanging around in the ocean for quite some time. All the paper's gone, except for what's left on the bottom here. Just a little bit of a gossamer of paper left. But here's another one I found. And that's the plastic liner that's on the inside of that cup. And that was floating around free on the beach. So that is what's left behind, and that's true for a lot of things. Anything that holds any kind of liquid, it's not just paper. You can't just put that in with your paper products to recycle. That is a plastic product. That includes bait boxes, anything. So yeah, not good.
And there's not like one or two of these. There's probably thousands and thousands.
So many. Between that and the lids, there are alternatives to using this kind of product, and I would like to see people use that.
Okay. Yeah. Now we're going to take one quick break now, and then you and I are going to sit back at the desk, and you have a couple of things to show us about what we can do to help minimize this and where we're going with this in the future. So we're going to take a quick break on RobPatry Live. Okay, so you're back with RobPatry Live, and tonight's a real live show because there's so many things going on, but we've been handling it very well, so appreciate all the production work in the back because I know there was a lot going on. We had a lot of guests tonight, and we had a lot of interesting things to see. So we're going to finish up with Krista Beardy, who's the Marine Debris Coordinator. And Krista, you're just showing us some debris that you've personally found down at beaches here near the Bay of Fundy. And I want to talk to you a bit about this debris-free Fundy. So if you could tell us a little bit about this and the film, the upcoming film that's going to be shown.
Okay. Well, the Debris-Free Fundy program is something that we just started this year in St. Andrews. It is basically an approval program for the local food and beverage industry, and the locals have been so supportive. They've been dedicating themselves to adopting at least one ecologically preferred practice, such things as going plastic bag free, looking for paper bags instead of the plastic, going styrofoam free, getting rid of the plastic utensils, going straw-free, stuff like that. So everybody has been wonderful in committing to these practices, and in return they get one of these on their door, the Debris-Free Fundy sticker. So you'll probably see those around.
So that means that the location that has this on their door is following the guidelines that you've supplied them with.
They're making an effort to reduce the amount of disposable plastics that they're using in their
which
day-to-day
is ending
business
up in the
practice.
ocean.
Which is ending up in the ocean, as you could see from the buckets.
Yeah,
there.
it's shocking.
That's pretty shocking.
Yeah. To see it, I mean, you know it's out there, but to see all this, pardon the expression, crap. I mean, you guys put this lovely word debris on it, but it's just it's disgusting garbage that shouldn't be there in the first place.
Exactly.
And then there's a movie as well.
Yes, June 8th is World Oceans Day, and we're having a celebration at Sunbury Shores Arts and Nature Center down on Water Street. And we're going to be showing the movie A Plastic Ocean, which is a feature-length documentary film that highlights the problem of plastics in our oceans, whether it is all the gyres that you've heard about or whether it is the new research with the Antarctic Ocean, the Arctic Ocean. And yeah, we're going to be meeting there at 7:30 and watching the film together, and we'll have a question and answer period after.
Wonderful. So this is certainly a worthwhile thing to see, and what you're doing is amazing. I wanted to thank all my guests tonight on RobPatry Live. Thank you to Cynthia Callahan, Krista Beardy, and Dr. Claire Goodwin. We live by the ocean, folks, and it's important that we take care of it. Sometimes we take it for granted that it's right here beside us, but there are a lot of animals living in there. We use it as a resource for so many things, but we have to take care of it. And what everybody that was on the show tonight is doing down at the Huntsman is a lot of really, really good work. It's important that you support them. It's important that you go down there and visit, talk to them, find out what's going on at the ocean. The ocean is not a litter basket. It's something that we have to take care of and cherish. And please do the same with the Huntsman. It is a wonderful resource. Again, very few communities in this country have this in their backyard. Go visit it, support it, enjoy it, love it, take care of your ocean. Thank you very much for watching, folks. Appreciate it. Good night.